from the industry through the community right into your home is the Green Room, and we're on. What's going on, everybody? It's Les from Cannabis Wiki. I'm here with the North American cannabis flower. That's right, spreading kindness, spreading love. Jackie Childs, what's popping?
Hey guys, welcome to the Green Room. Hey Lester.
Welcome to the Green Room, everybody. What's going on, girl? How are you?
Good. I'm popping a bunch of auto flowers.
Is it that time for them already?
Well, I have a bunch more autos, do them in my tent, and then bring them outside for a little bit if time allows. But auto flowers are like 7 to 9 weeks. Yeah, I do a bunch of those throughout the year. You got to try that, Lester.
Auto flower?
Yeah.
It seems a lot more simpler for my busy life anyways, but that's something we'll get into and talk about. Today we got today we have a double with us today. 2 for the price of 1. Today we've got 2 for the price of 1 is right. The Green Room. Yeah, we always make accommodations for everybody. You know how it is. But today, Paul and Dom, founders of Little Farma Cannabis, are with us today. So Paul and Dom, what's going on, guys?
Hey guys.
Hey guys. Thanks for having us today.
Welcome to the Green Room. Hi.
Smoking hot outside right now, and I'm sure it's smoking hot over there as well.
Yeah, the temperature has definitely been some fire for sure.
Yeah, you know, one thing we don't have here is the humidity, and you guys have a lot of humidity down there, so we're kind of fortunate.
Yeah, definitely. So where are you guys located right now? Where are you guys?
Yeah, so we're located in Kelowna, British Columbia. We're about 4 hours away from Vancouver, so we're kind of interior. We're surrounded by lakes, but not as big as your lakes out in Ontario. But yeah, I know it's a beautiful city here. We've got a population of about 130,000. It's a tourist destination. There's definitely a lot of tourists in town right now. A lot of the Albertans are flocking into our city. So it's a busy city, nonetheless.
That's pretty
busy
good.
Cannabis consuming city.
Right?
Very much so.
Very much.
So. Yeah, definitely. This is it's kind of been the mecca of cannabis in my eyes for years.
Oh, yeah.
Years, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, same down in this end of Ontario.
Sorry?
Lester.
Yes.
Lester, let me talk.
I will.
Can you guys tell us about Little Farma? Can you tell us how you guys came to the industry and what exactly your brand is and who you are?
Sure. So Little Farma came to be when a bunch of us who are into the cannabis industry got together and decided to make a brand. It's an extract brand. We made all different kinds of extracts, and our new line will be out. I don't know exactly when, but soon enough.
Yeah, we're working on those details. Yeah, it was formed by 5 members, and we all came from all different backgrounds, ranging from science, extraction, cannabis growing under the MMAR, ACMPR regulations, entrepreneurs, business, finance. So it was just a mishmash of everything. And what we did was we looked at the market to see what was happening out there. Did a ton of research out there, met with industry players out in Vancouver to understand the market. And one thing that we saw was that there was a gap in sort of the extraction market and the different product offerings. And so it was a fairly new market, and we saw an opportunity to seize on that market and start a brand. And so what we did was we started Little Farma, and we did a lot of R&D, a lot of testing, to come up with a lot of different formulations to come up with all sorts of diverse products that we have today. And so obviously that stopped with the legal market, but now we're in the next phase of launching Little Farma and really taking on what we learned from the industry and bring it to the markets. And so a lot of the market in terms of extracts is not there quite yet, but we will be there soon. It's just a matter of time before all the players will start introducing products like shatter and concentrates, and that's what we were really known for at the time. But as the legalization rolls out, there'll be a lot more of distillate vape pens and that product offerings which consumers are really gravitating towards. Not only because of the smokability, but most people don't want to smoke cannabis, and so vaping is the other alternative as well.
Right.
Sure.
So what type of extractions are you guys doing?
We've covered all the bases. We'll be probably rolling out. We should be doing pens, CO2, and shatter, but it all really depends how the company grows and where we start, we don't really know that yet. But pens was a big hit, so I imagine we could continue to do so.
Yeah, where we started with a lot of R&D, we had a bunch of different extraction methods. We're doing a lot of hydrocarbons, so we did a lot of ethanol extraction, butane extraction, and then we also did some CO2 extraction as well. So we played around with all the different options out there, and I guess what we found was that butane is probably one of the best methods for having the natural terpenes infused into the product offerings. And I guess in this market space, in my opinion, I guess that continues to be the preferred method in terms of having the same terpene profiles inside a cannabis product. And Paul could speak to that because he's heavy on extraction.
Yeah,
likes smoking his dabs and shatters.
All right, we got a man with field experience. Hit it, Paul. Tell us a little more.
Just from my shatter experience, or as in yeah. Well, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, with extraction, a lot of people are concerned about using chemicals and whatnot. So there's the O2 extraction. This is why I was asking about the method. So from somebody who tries the product themselves, I'd love to hear what you feel and what you think is best.
Fair enough. So with O2 extraction, the biggest issue I find is that the terpenes kind of disappear when you run CO2. Like if you smoke a CO2 extract, it kind of just tastes like hemp or just like a hay, honestly. But when you smoke shatter, your terpene profile is amazing. But then you have the issue of people leaving butane behind, and that's what people worry about is your ppms left over of gases. But if you purge properly, there should be zero issue with that. But I understand people's concern and why CO2 is better. I personally smoke only hash rosin now, which is just made with ice and RO water and then pressed. And that's just because I have nothing against shatter. I've made it for years and smoked it for years, but it's just, I don't know. I prefer a more natural way, but I don't think if it's done properly, I don't think anyone should be worried about any sort of chemical left behind or anything like that. And then it will be personal preference on terpene profile, I guess, you know what I mean? Like if you reincorporate terps to your CO2 extract, then good on you. And, you're going to get the profiles that you're used to from cannabis. But if you kind of leave it just as is, you be the judge. It doesn't taste good, in my opinion. So I'd rather smoke shatter just for the flavor, but I do like a more natural way of extraction if that's what it comes down to.
It's a big question that needed to be asked just because you're in that field of doing extraction. So you're going to come across that question. And I wanted to get it out there so that people would be able to.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. You're very right. That's true.
Do you guys both consume cannabis? Can I on a personal note, do you both consume cannabis?
Oh, I have since I was 18 years old. So definitely consume cannabis. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I have since I was 16, and it was my younger brother that introduced me to my first joint. And I'll never forget that. But yeah, I feel like, I think the market is opening up to cannabis, and there used to be this stigma. And, I come from a background where, back then, I think all of us, there's a stigma associated with it. If you were smoking cannabis, you were
frowned upon.
You were probably sluggish, lazy, everything above. And so, it's definitely changed now, obviously with legalization. And, I think we're moving in the right direction. And, people associate, cannabis users who aren't successful. And I can tell you that that's not entirely true. I know many people who've used cannabis and are successful today. I have my accounting designation. I've used cannabis during university. I've got my degree. I got my designation. That doesn't necessarily mean that I'm one of those persons that are labeled as sluggish and lazy. So yeah, it just goes to show that, cannabis isn't all what it used to be back in the day.
For sure.
I love to see
Definitely.
entrepreneurs and founders that actually smoke the product. So they really have true insight about what they're looking to forge forward to.
I don't want to be so strong on this opinion, but I believe if you're going to own a cannabis company and you don't smoke or use it, then maybe you shouldn't own the company. Or at least have your board of directors to be all users, because that is a big
I
issue with
second that opinion, sir. I completely agree.
A huge issue in today's legal market is it's a bunch of suits and ties just putting money into something they don't know what the end result is or even how to start it up. And like,
right.
you know, not going to mention any names, but like I know some big operations have like apple farmers and corn farmers as their heads of grower. And it's like, okay, so you can grow apples, but can you grow weed? Like, that's a completely different plant.
Yeah, the other thing too is, you know, you have, you know, big companies out there that are, you know, paying lots of money for market research, trying to understand the consumer segment. But really, at the end of the day, if you have a group of entrepreneurs who are in the space, have consumed cannabis, they're going to know exactly what the market is going to want. We know exactly which flowers, which genetics are sourced, which terpene profiles work great. And so we're at the forefront. You know, I guess, you know, the guys that were under the ACMPR and MMAR, they're the pioneers of this industry. So they know exactly what the consumers want. And like Paul said, you know, there's a large companies out there who probably don't really understand cannabis or know what the terpene profiles are or never tried it. So it'll take a long time for them to really understand what the consumers really want. And I guess we're fortunate enough to be in this space where a lot of the founding members were the growers. And so they understood exactly what they were growing and what worked and what didn't, and moved on to the next phase.
I think we're definitely seeing this now. Since COVID, we're seeing a shift of, I mean, the little guys are coming on loud and proud, and we're seeing the price drops on the legal market, and then the unregulated market is booming. And I think there's space and there's room for people that have a real passion and a real love for the plant and know what they're doing. I mean, I would love to celebrate, promote, and support smaller businesses that have come to the regulated market with true, authentic, good intentions. They have a love for the plant, and like you said, you've been consuming it since you were in your teens, and you know, you're successful, good people. Let's, you know, end the stigma and celebrate and champion those people and those businesses.
Yeah, 100%.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, no, I guess what we're seeing in Canada is there was definitely a lot of hurdles when people wanted to come out of the gray market or black market, whatever you call it, and get into the legal space. And so there was certainly some challenges with people trying to, you know, come clean and really get into the space. And, you know, we're still seeing it. It's a slow rollout. And I guess for my take on this is that, you know, the bigger players, you know, the ones with capital behind them, they were able to get in the space and made fortune off it. Whereas the little guys, they're still a struggle. There's still going to be guys out there that are still growing under the gray or black market. And it's going to be hard for them to, you know, surpass that and get into the legal space. I think that's still a challenge to this day.
But you're not wrong. I have a lot of friends who grow still and under the ACMPR or MMAR licensing, and they feel like it's just not enough information, or they're like too scared to join the legal market because they think they're just going to drain their money, or, you know, they're not going to be accepted into it due to an old record that has to do with cannabis, which is kind of insane in my mind. But small micros really change the game. But I just feel like the pressure they feel to start a big legal micro it's a lot of money, and it's scary.
For sure, that you just touched on, like the barrier to entry. So like not only financially, but you could have records, you could, because you were growing or because you were caught with seeds or whatever so then people who deserve to be in this industry just can't get into the space. It's so challenging.
Yeah, or just feel like the hurdle's too big to even try and jump it. You know what I mean? It's like, why go for it when I can just grow the way I always have? What kind of hurdles
have COVID brought to you guys trying to enter this space in the industry during COVID? How challenging has that been?
Well, you know what? I guess we're fortunate because we're not applying for a Health Canada license. We're not trying to operate cultivation facilities, and so we're fortunate in that, you know, we're partnering with I guess, you know, it's not to be announced quite yet, but we will be partnering with other players that will be helping us get our products to the finish line. I guess from a COVID standpoint, you know, I guess what this has brought is more awareness in terms of, you know, the list of essential services that we're seeing, and cannabis seems to be at the forefront of that. You know, I guess, you know, when you look at other businesses out there who are having to forced to be shut down, well, I guess cannabis is lucky enough to be considered an essential service, and people who have medical conditions are going to need cannabis. You know, and I guess, you know, my take on this is that, you know, we've been fortunate enough where we haven't been impacted. we've been going strong on the marketing efforts, pre-launching our brand into these strange times right now. And I guess, once things turn around, I guess we'll see how that turns out for us, and I'm just hopeful that, we'll get our brand launched and we'll get product lines launched by the winter time that, we'll have a good success story to tell.
It doesn't sound like you guys are going to have too much of a problem. It seems I'm getting the feel that you guys are almost like a bridge between craft and the industry. That perfect touch. Business people that actually know about the product, actually deal with the product themselves, but actually have the understanding of what clients and patients need.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%.
Definitely. So we hope to be. We hope to be that bridge. Yeah.
I would say we would definitely have a craft in terms of, how we make the products. And again, we won't be involved in making the products, and we're basically going to be like an advisory board to the companies that will be making our products. Because at the end of the day, we're just a house of brands, and we're going to basically, give up our recipes in terms of how we made the products and get into the market space. And so a lot of craft goes into what we did previously, and a lot of that knowledge is certainly going to be helpful because the consumers that were there back in the day supporting us, they're still going to be there. They're still going to want our product offerings. And so I'm happy that, we were able to enter this next chapter and allow that to happen.
Definitely.
I like
and
it.
It's still a few weeks or months away. You said months, like winter, right? Winter you hope to launch?
Yeah, so we did a soft launch, and we're working out some final details and final details with partners, and I can't say right now, but yeah, our hope is to have products on the shelves by the winter time.
Yeah, but obviously we'll probably keep an eye on COVID because we get that second wave.
Yeah.
Maybe we won't open exactly at the same time. Yeah.
Could be another month, Sean.
Who knows?
Exactly.
Ridiculous
Well,
times we're living in.
We're ready. If COVID's gone, we're ready to go.
It sounds like Vancouver, BC is okay with all the tourism going on there. It seems like it's open.
Yeah.
In BC it is, but it's only to obviously no international tourism, which is $1 billion industry here. So we'll take a hit for sure. But the province is trying to open back up. That is the case. Yeah.
So
if there was. Go ahead, Jack.
You go first.
Oh, wait. I'm waiting this time. Waiting. I got breaks on.
Right.
COVID breaks.
Okay. So as a new company coming to the space, and there's COVID and uncertain times and everything, and there's been a lot of challenging issues and there's a lot of negativity right now. What is something positive that Little Farma has what have you dealt with, or what are you celebrating? Something on a positive note, something that, you're pleasantly surprised with what's happened during the transition into the regulated market, the legal market.
Well, that's a good one there. Well, I guess we could celebrate that we're coming into the legal market, which is awesome. We're starting a great brand, and I guess during COVID, I was most surprised that we were still the wheels were still turning. You know what I mean? I thought we might have everything would have went on pause, but no, it seems like we've progressed massively even during the COVID, even during COVID.
Yeah. Just to echo that, I kind of feel like during this era, during these strange times with COVID, and everybody being glued to their home, their computers, just having the awareness that we've did a soft launch, and I've been promoting it and on LinkedIn, and the brand has been well received, and I think people have their eyes on sort of what we're doing, and our social Instagram, our social media accounts. People are starting to see that there's activity now. I guess we've had a long low of no activity for the longest time, and so people are coming out of the woodworks trying to find out when we're going to have product on the shelf. So it's great to see that people are recognizing that, hey, Little Farma's here. They can't wait to see us on the shelves, and so fortunate to be in the strange times and launch during the strange times when ideally, this is not an ideal time for a lot of companies to be doing business. Right. But I guess we're fortunate that, we still have the soft launch and awareness out there.
That's great. Really good.
So if there was two things that you could leave with the people that you may think they don't know about Little Farma cannabis, what would you guys like to get out?
Try all our products when we launch. Buy them all. Everything we got.
That's it, Paul. That's it. That's what this platform
Yeah,
is
that's
for,
it.
bro.
Right there. Yeah, we're back. Come get us. Come get us.
Can you tell us?
I
Can you
love
tell us your socials? How everyone can find you on social media? Where we can find you on LinkedIn, website, etc.
Yeah, so on LinkedIn, you can find us on Gallery Brands on LinkedIn. On our Instagram, you can find us on Little Farma
Labs, right? Let me just double check.
Our sister brand too. Check them out. We have Blessed Edibles, we
Little
have
Farma
Fleur,
Labs.
and then we have a new brand coming out called Gala. So it's all under the roof of Gallery Brands. And so yeah, I just do a few searches. I don't have the handle in front of me right now because I don't have my phone on me.
Okay.
But yeah, it's there.
Beautiful.
Cool.
Beautiful. Anything up and coming other than the big launch?
Nothing that we can probably speak on at this moment.
Yeah.
Just-
I guess the next big obstacle for us is just signing those agreements with all the licensed producers for the manufacturing side of things. So that's sort of once we have that inked, then we can start celebrating and just discuss more openly about sort of our plans. But on our website, you'll have an idea on what we're offering right now, and our main focus will be vape pens. Next would be edibles, and then the oils as well.
Definitely.
Well, don't forget Jackie and Lester here. We love exclusives.
We won't forget you.
We won't forget you.
It's killing me that they have a secret that I don't get to know.
No way.
I hate that.
We don't know them either. Right? We're just waiting on the answers.
All right. You keep mentioning this. We can't talk about it. We can't talk about it. I'm like,
We gotta get everything signed, and then we do the launch, and then we talk about it.
Nobody likes formalities, but we got to follow formalities.
Yeah, we do. We do.
That's true.
You know how it
That's
goes.
true.
We thank
Well,
you guys so much for stopping in. You guys are a fun bunch of guys. I would like to meet the rest of the crew for sure. Next time we come out to BC, or even when you want to touch base with us about this big exclusive that you guys are ready to drop, we would gladly take
Absolutely. I appreciate Lester and Jack for having us on the show.
Thank you so much.
It's awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for
We will
coming
be
on.
back with more news. We'll see that.
We can't
Excellent,
wait.
excellent.
So, nice
All right,
meeting
Paul.
you
All
guys.
right, take it easy,
Thanks.
guys.
Thank you. Bye now.
Yeah.
Bye. I would
Bye.
smoke pot with them. I would smoke
Yeah,
pot with them.
there we go. There we go. Anytime.
We'll hop on a boat. We'll go
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
For sure.
I think
For sure.
I think Paul and I need to do some bong rips, and we'll get out that information.
I am there. You gotta use one of those.
Thank you
All
so
right,
much
guys.
for joining us. Okay.
See you
That was
later.
fun.
Bye, guys.
Later,
That was
guys.
great. That was great. Those guys. Good heart.
Farma.
I love guys that are really attached to what they do, and when they actually smoke, it just means that they're attached to where the fuck they're going. You know what I mean?
Lester, I am truly excited to introduce and celebrate and share the little man. I'm just so much, it's an amazing time to be alive. It's crazy time to be alive. There's a lot of cool stuff happening in the industry, and the craft and legacy and the smaller guys coming in. I think the next 18 months is going to be pretty cool in the industry. I think that, if you didn't do it right, you're gone. And the people that are doing it right are going to be celebrated and are going to grow. And I'm excited for that. I'm really excited for that.
You and me both. You and me both. You may want to call me Switzerland all the fucking time, but truly, we just seem to be getting blessed with some good people that keep coming across the table. Don't you worry. When something bad comes across the table, we will open up the knives and have to cut them away.
Will you ever get up and walk off of a green room? Will you ever go, forget it, I'm out? Will you ever do that?
I'm not looking to put up with no BS. Listen, the green room is about, we're here to put a platform on the cannabis industry inside this country and a little bit internationally, and see the people behind the businesses and see what's going on. And when we run into Fugazi, we will die. Yeah. It is what it is. We're real up here. There ain't no bullshit.
That was a fun chat with Little Farma. Little Farma from Gallery Brands. That's cool.
Cool guys for sure. All right, guys. So you know where your cannabis talk is always fresh and a little bit
sticky.
Keep it locked. Cannabis weekly.
Take care, guys. Thanks for joining us on the Green Room. Don't forget to download the Wellness Wiki app. See you later. Peace.
All right, we out.